Vietnam people will shoot you if you don't like this video and subscribe right now. Wonders of light. When I was 5ish, maybe 6, I filled my mouth with water, put my lips against an electrical socket and spat the water inside. Pain is a great teacher. How are you still alive? My dad's name is Aaron, so when I was little and he said he was going to run errands, I heard errands and figured that add-ons just called the chores they had to do by their own name. And to this day I still secretly think of my chores as Ellie's. I asked my new class to write one thing they would like me to know before I start teaching them. I take a long time to do a PO. My record is 2 hours 15 minutes. Reaction from my kids after explaining how Lex works. You've done this 3 times? I think I was 7. I was misbehaving at dinner, so my parents sent me to my room. I was dramatic as duck and cried out my window to the whole neighborhood. Then the window screen broke and I fell 2 stories. I got up and rang the doorbell to tell my parents I fell out the window. Pediatrician at 4-year checkup. Do you have any questions? Me. I don't think so. Ped. RD. What about you? Any questions for me? RD. Yeah. Have you ever hanged upside down from the ceiling like a bat? I remember when I was 6, I got a hold of my dad's ID and it had an expiration date. Spent 3 hours crying because I thought that he was set to die on that date. He asked me why I was crying and I didn't tell him because I was scared he was gonna cry as well. When I was 5, my mom came out into the living room while I was playing games, crawling around merging ungodly noises. I thought she was being silly, so I crawled with her and tried to ride her like a horse. She was in labor. I was like lol, that's cool. Hats off to the waiter that kept a straight face as my 5-year-old ordered the veg for lunch instead of lasagna. Kids will say the most ducked up shit and then do a cartwheel like nothing happened. My mommy said I can't eat at your house because you're a witch. When I was 5, my mom got an elf on the shelf and told me it was watching to see if I was bad. I was so scared I decided to kill it and I snuck out, stole the elf on the shelf, and then ripped its arms up and hid it in the grass under my window, then lied about it when questioned. As a child, I would like to pick up coins I found on the ground to put in my piggy bank. I thought that was what everybody did. I used to think that the government would stuff giant cannons full of coins and blast them across the continent and that was how everybody earned money. I had no reason to think this. I believed this until I was 8. My 10-year-old son just took my phone and texted this to my wife. Honey, I got fired. I'm 8 years old when I accidentally ate a spicy chili and I was sweating like hell. I accidentally drank my uncle's beer that looked like cold water, which was 175% alcohol. Just a reminder, hide all of your devices. When I was 12, I discovered that when you sit in a Dougie position and spread your butt cheeks, don't ask me why I did this, because I generally don't know. Air can be snacked into your bed. This way you can make enormous farts on command. Later I taught my best friend how to do it. After school we would train to get longer and louder farts. After some time, we both managed to get farts longer than 10 seconds. It was a crazy time. The fun part is that we are still best friends and we both can still do it. From time to time we talk and laugh about that time. My kid crying just losing her mind as I explain why she cannot sleep with a water balloon. In 8th grade we had to read the Diary of Anne Frank in complete silence, as if we were in the attic with them. I fell asleep at my desk and then farted so loud that it woke me up. I wouldn't have lasted long. I just told my son that he could mind control me if he rubbed his fingertips all over my head and chanted mind control quietly, and that is how you get a free scalp massage from your kids. In the car, she, 4, is screaming her head off. Me, dude, why are you crying? Her, I wanna go to the United States. Me, you're in the United States. She stops. Her, what? Yay, my husband. Holy shit, I need a drink. My aunt is my mom's sister. Small world. Anonymous. 5 years old. Have you got a point? I took my 5-year-old and 3-year-old to the zoo last week. I'm heavily pregnant. My eldest wandered a bit ahead, and 3-year-old said, "Don't worry mommy. If we lose him, you've got another baby in your tummy. There will still be 2." When I said I'd rather keep all 3, he replied, "Why?" My friend 7-year-old just told us that his 2 worst enemies are the sun and Parker LMAO. My niece asked me one day why I always wear the same tattoos like LMAO. My mom got fired from her job when I was little, and I cried because I thought that meant they were going to light her on fire. Went to my girlfriend's house and her sister is swimming in the fish tank. A few summers ago I stopped at some kid's lemonade stand. As I took a sip, the youngest boy stuck his whole arm in the pitcher and stirred. My toddler just spent 5 minutes explaining that he can't use his imagination because he traded it to a kid at daycare for some fruit snacks. Okay, bro. When I was 15 over 16, arguably old enough to know better, and after many sex ed classes, I woke up feeling sick one day. I went downstairs hoping to get out of school and told my mom I wasn't feeling well. She asked how I wasn't feeling well, and I responded, "Oh, I think it's just a bit of morning sickness." Almost too matter-of-factly. She screamed a bunch of swears and ultimately asked how long I had been pregnant. Needless to say, I wasn't pregnant and thought it was just another way of saying you were sick in the morning. I generally think of myself as an okay father, but somehow I forgot to teach my 2-year-old son what an owl was, and he thought it was called a wood penguin. His new favorite spot: climbs up, can't get down, cries until we come get him, repeat. My little brother put this in the fridge. The kids think there is more pizza if I cut it this way. My brother, 5-year-old, inhales the remaining gas from the soda can because it makes his throat itch. I just had a memory of when I was a kid and I asked my grandpa when we were watching an old TV show how you could tell who was black and who was white if the TV show was in black and white. He just looked at me. Should I be angry or should I laugh the hell out? My daughter walked into the living room looking like this. My child has tons of toys and is playing with an onion. When I was like 7 years old and remembered seeing old black and white pictures that my grandma showed to me, and I was wondering where all the colors were. So I asked her when the people painted the world. She was so confused until I explained it to her. This memory of my dumb ace still haunts me to this day. My mom likes to tell this story. When my twin sister and I were around 1 year old, our mom placed us each in a baby walker while she was making lunch. She was distracted for a couple of minutes, and soon after she realized we were gone. She found us in the bathroom where I somehow managed to take my sister's shoe off, and with it, we were drinking water from the toilet. Why would you do that? My nephew new hobby. 8-year-old remembered to take the foil flavor packet out. She forgot to add water. This child at the airport is killing me. When I was 4 I was scared to play COD Zombies because I thought the zombies would come to life if I played it. So my older brother used to think rock and heavy metal were in the same genre because they are both minerals. Have you got a point? This text from my son lives rent-free in my head. Son, how do you spell Ninja Turtle? Kid in internet cafe. Kid saves a bowl of Fruit Loops for later by putting it in the freezer. When I was a kid I'd bring our goldfish out of the water for short bursts of time to train its lungs. I asked my 4-year-old to put a new roll on my paper towel holder. Technically she did. Walked in on the kid making something in the microwave. Said, "What are you making?" He said, "Toast." Apparently magic won't actually put the $20 back together. My niece is 6 and she hates wearing jeans because she hates the zippers and how they scrunch up. But she doesn't call them jeans. She calls them wiener pants, and I wish I didn't find that out as she yelled it in the store. Update. My daughter's hide and seek spots are improving. When I was a kid, my parents told me if I sat too close to the TV I would get smacked in. So I sat far away when stuff I didn't like was playing. And I sat very close when I watched Hannah Montana. Picked my son up from nursery to find he'd hidden a clearage booster in his pocket and shown everyone his gel toy. As a kid, I believed that Ohio and New Hampshire are an hour away and you would get on the plane to pass the time, then come back to the same airport, and one of our uncles would pick us up and drive us to where we are staying in New Hampshire from Ohio. I don't know why I would think this or how I started thinking it. When I was 5, I put deodorant all over my body because it said all day protection, and I thought I was invincible. When I was little, around 6 years old, I couldn't understand where the food we ate went after it reached our stomachs. My clever mind figured that the food went directly into our feet and slowly built up until it went to our head and eye. So I constantly kept convincing myself that the food that was supposed to fill my body was just under my ankle. Ironically, many times I kept thinking about this while I was taking a bump. When I was a kid, I thought that women become pregnant themselves once they reach the age of 18. And I'd pray every single day for several weeks. Please God, I don't want kids. Please. Boy teased his kid sister, who threw her Switch at the big screen TV. $150 on a pull for this kid to rather be on a paint container. Made a sandwich with the loaf end piece. Kid still wouldn't eat the crust. When I was around 8, I did a Facebook quiz on Facebook that told you how you would die. My results came back as death by poodle, and for literally years I was terrified of poodles and thought it was going to die every time I saw a poodle. Mother's Day. Gavin. Mama. Since it's Mother's Day, do you want to watch me play PS4 games? Me. Yeah buddy. After I do my nails. I've gotta do 'em. They look horrible. Shows him my bare, tore up nails. Gavin. They look better than your face. Kid thinks he can play with Dream. I have Minecraft in my Nintendo. Can we play you and me or speedrun please? I know how to play Minecraft. Hey Dream. 2 + 2 = 4. I can do math. Tell me you have kids without saying you have kids. When I was a little child, my dumb self thought that my parents said don't do jugs instead of don't do dogs. So I didn't drink milk for a while. This is a photo of me, almost 2 years old, sharing a Dorito with an inanimate object. Never go camping with a C-section baby. My friend's son cut a hole in the tent with a knife. Very deliberate in front of everyone. Everyone screeched in disbelief and the kid calmly explained he was making a window. When I was a kid, I collected a bunch of sand dollars at the beach and brought them home. I didn't know that they were living creatures. So I cleaned them with dish soap to get the brown color off and came back an hour later to the smell of rotting fish. My parents said I couldn't have gum till I was 5. One day at church, when I was 3 or 4, a family friend gave me a piece of gum. I ran through the halls cheering I'm 5. I'm 5. So, my family is here for a visit. They just had to take some Cupid tests at a pharmacy because they are going to a theme park, then need a negative test to stay at another camping site. My little cousin, aged 8, was afraid her COVID test would be negative. Yes, she wanted a positive test and was disappointed it was negative. Now she is afraid, crying on the floor, that her mom's test will be positive. When I was like 7 or 8 years old, I once borrowed a laptop from one of my relatives and changed the time of the laptop. When I gave the laptop back, my relative was watching the news, and then she said that the time on the laptop was wrong and started to fix it. The news reporter from the TV was looking at his watch the moment I looked at the TV, and I believed that by changing the time on the laptop it also changes all the clocks of the world, and that terrified me because I thought I disrupted the balance of time. When I was a young child I used to think that if you drank water constantly while peeing that you could pee forever. I used to think that when it rained, the entire rain cloud would be the exact size of the state and the whole state would get rain. This mega cloud would take turns between all the states so that everybody got rain. Just remember having a breakdown when I was like 6 because I saw my cousin move her eyes around and I thought I couldn't. A whole whiteboard to doodle on. And she doodles where? Just thinking about that time when my friend was like 9 and decided his DS was too dirty so he rinsed it in the sink. His brother was not happy lol. One time when my sister was 3, we were watching Toy Story and there's one part where Ham says, "Way to go, Idaho." My sister tried to repeat it but ended up saying, "Way to go, I'm a hoe." I was literally ruffling that day, XP. 6-year-old thought it was a great idea to swallow magnets today. Little sister crying because the string on her whistle untied so it doesn't work anymore. One time when I was a little kid I accidentally stole a bag of sunflower seeds from the store by holding onto it instead of putting it on the conveyor belt to be scanned. Then when we got to the car and I realized what I'd done, I cried and begged my dad to sneak them back in under his hat and pay for them. When I was a kid I thought it was awesome to trap flies in the refrigerator. Where I live, fire hydrants are painted yellow instead of red. In cartoons, fire hydrants were always depicted as red. My 6 to 7-year-old brain thought our fire hydrants were yellow because dogs pee on them. When I was a kid, I would watch TV where a character would pass out or something like that. When this happened, another character would throw a bucket of cold water over them and they would just wake up perfectly fine. In the near future I went to a funeral where I proceeded to ask, "Did you splash cold water on the person?" In my sister's 3rd birthday my parents threw a party for her. A huge party. We were well off back then. As the add-ons got their beer on and mingled, my sister stealthily went table after table drinking whatever was left of beer in the cups the add-ons abandoned. To this day, 27 years passed, and we still tease her for getting unimaginably drunk at 3 years old. Never give 10-year-old me a tiger umbrella. My elementary school sold orange sorbet during lunch and after school. While I was in 1st grade, my sister, 4 years older than me, bought a serving of the sorbet, put it in her pocket, and 3 minutes later walked it over to me and surprised me with orange ice cream. A week later, I wanted to return the favor. I bought said ice cream during lunch, shoved it in my pocket, and waited until after school to surprise my sister with a puddle. When me and my sister were little, we went to buy Halloween costumes with our mom, and my sister got a princess costume which came with a magic wand. We thought it was real. We thought the plastic wand our mother just paid a couple bucks for would literally do anything we wanted it to do. We tried it out in the car on the way home, and it didn't work. Naturally we assumed it won't work in a car. So we waited until we got home to make it work. It didn't. The way my little brother broke his toe is so dumb. So my little brother broke his toe yesterday because he slammed it into a wall. Wanna know why? Well, you know, in the very old versions of Minecraft how there were just steps running around everywhere and jumping and stuff? Well, he was trying to demonstrate to my dad what that looked like by doing it himself in the lunchroom. Next thing you know, he ran into the wall and broke his toe. My little sister fell asleep in the car on a hot sunny day with chocolate in her hand. My 3-year-old nephew just barged into the living room and yelled, "Grandma, I made the bath look beautiful." One day a boy was born. His mom was a fish and his dad was a Lego. Baby bro's impeccable hiding spot. Went to make my salad for lunch. It seems someone got into the croutons and left incidents behind. So I remember this from when I was younger. I used to think that the only places in the world were USA and Japan. USA because, well, I live there, and Japan because my sister watched anime. Just another day at Walmart. My daughter wanted me to put her booger back in her nose. When I removed it, she cried the whole morning. When she was calmer, I asked her why she didn't want me to remove her booger. She told me it was because the hanging booger was tickling her and it made her happy. My daughter was 4 years old. Well, now you can see into the future. Congratulations. Just some kid on the Play Store. Procreate Paint Pro Guide, Procreate Paint Pocket. This app is the worst, just gives you tips, doesn't let you draw. Dumb story. When I was around 5 or 6, I was going to bed and me being the idiot I dropped my pants and literally pissed down the entire hallway. My excuse was I didn't make it on time. What the duck was wrong with me? Well, shut. She's learned to crawl. Climb recently. As a child, I truly believed the world was in black and white until The Wizard of Oz came out. I was a dumb child. My toddler will only eat a hot dog on a burger bun. He will absolutely refuse to eat it if on a hot dog bun or anything else. Stupid 12-year-old me had no idea what was coming. I'm listening to this because I have bad grades. I was in 7th grade when I wrote this. I'm about to be in 10th now. My grades got even worse and I have depression all 9th grade. Fun. My 8-year-old sibling is throwing a tantrum because we won't give her this plastic lid until she helps with groceries. My kid was ecstatic when he thought there was a plant that grew pizza. When I was little, I used to think drinking and driving meant any drink, not just alcohol, so one day when my mom was drinking a bottle of water while taking me to school, I cried because I thought she was gonna go to jail.